All right, here we go. Yeah, what's today's date?
The 10th.
Today is the
September
10th of September. It's the eve of September 11th.
That's right.
Oh shit.
We're like
Yeah,
T minus 3 hours.
Yeah, that's why I wore my 9/11's an inside job shirt for the occasion.
The 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. We're talking to NAPALM Raid from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Yeah,
Canada.
Halifax, Nova Scotia,
All right.
Canada.
It's New Scotland.
Yep.
New Scotland.
It's New Scotland. What does that mean?
It's way better than the old Scotland.
There's a lot of old Scottish guys there.
Yeah.
Telling stories about their homeland.
Yeah, Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland.
Is it? I didn't realize that. I thought that was some sort of joke. I wasn't. It's just my ignorance. All right. So being from Canada, touring in the U.S., is it hard to get over the border? What kind of issues do you have there?
Yeah, it's hard. We do it under the radar because we're not very pro, and yeah, we just have to jump through a bunch of hoops, get people to do favors for us, and
Yeah, we got to
mail
get
a
our
lot of
gear
stuff.
across separately.
Yeah, so I was going to
gotta-
ask you borrow gear.
Yeah, we got to lie to customs and tell them we're going for a vacation and stuff.
Right.
yeah, so we just make up a story, and once we're there,
Yeah, it's all smooth sailing once we're over the border.
yeah.
Is it tougher to get into the U.S. than it is to get back to Canada?
Not for us.
Well, yeah, like when we go home, it's no problem.
Yeah, like when we're heading back to Canada, we can just be like, yeah, we're playing shows down here, and they just wave us through. But when you're going into the United States, you can't let on at all that you're in a band or anything. And they obviously know we're in a band, like, look at us. Like,
Right.
But as long as they don't have anything they can pin on us, then they can't not let us through, because clean records, valid passports, all that stuff.
Cool. So, what do you see as the contrast between the U.S. and Canada? What do you see when you're on tour? That
Like in the scenes,
yeah,
a lot like there's very like it's a lot smaller scenes in Canada. Like there's only a few big places like Vancouver, Montreal, and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of big scenes around the U.S., so it's a lot easier to play a lot more places.
There's more of a DIY work ethic in the States than you find in most places in Canada.
Especially
Just
small-
because I
smaller
think it's
places.
because it's like most cities, even the big ones, are like, fairly quiet in comparison to like major American cities. So, house shows and stuff like that usually get shut down pretty quick. And with the exception of like Vancouver,
Yeah.
like BC is pretty close to the States and
It's thriving.
Yeah, there's
Great
like whole
scene there.
swarms of punks and lots of venues and stuff. But a lot of the rest of Canada is really conservative, so like cops have like zero tolerance for fun usually. Like they see people doing something like kind of under the radar and they just don't like it at all, and they just assume bad things are happening or whatever. Like, especially out where we're from, I mean, you can't even have a really loud party without the cops showing up, let alone like have
houses don't last very long.
bands play. Like venue houses, don't last more than a year usually. Like
Fuck, not even that one.
And how do they do it? They shut you down by noise ordinance?
Yeah,
or?
it's
noise
Neighbors,
complaints. It's like
complaints.
if you make too much noise, they shut you down if you don't stop before 10. And they'll usually just warn you with a huge ticket or something. Like if you have to come back, you're gonna get this huge fine. Yeah.
And then once they know you're doing something, they'll be back every weekend and just make your life a living hell, pretty much.
I suppose Montreal has a lot of like DIY spots too.
Yeah, and they're always getting shut down too. But there's just more suitable places to turn into a venue in Montreal than there is in Halifax. Because Halifax, it's all quiet houses everywhere. There's no like industrial parts of town where you could like rent a space to have a good show and actually have people show up.
Yeah.
Because like public transit is terrible, and like a lot of the punks don't ride bikes and stuff, so like if it's literally not within a 10-minute walking distance, they won't go to the show. Like it's kind of pathetic.
How big is that city?
300,000 people.
300,000.
It's a university town.
Yeah, it's a university town. So we have a pretty good scene over there, but it's like really far from like Montreal is the nearest huge city, and it's about a 12-hour drive from there. So
Really?
so we get touring bands, but it's bands that tour a lot and are like, okay, I guess we finally have to go.
Yeah, like the real road warrior bands will come.
Yeah.
But
And when they come, like the shows are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
It's a
to make
great
it out.
scene there, and it's totally worth it. It's just that huge drive.
Yeah, it's
We probably wouldn't go
scares
there.
most people.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't go there if we were
Fuck
from
that.
Yeah, if we were based in Montreal or something, we probably wouldn't be playing Halifax very often.
How far is Montreal?
12 hours, like
Yeah.
going the speed limit. That is.
So I was in Canada years ago. That's about 15 years ago now. At Spider Fest,
Oh yeah.
and we were there hanging out for a couple of days. And I think it was the Saturday where all the punks from Montreal were showing up, and they warned us about them. Like, hey, be careful when the Montreal punks show up. They're not nice, you know, basically.
Yeah.
So then the school bus showed up full of people from Montreal. They're all carrying big knives and stuff, and
Oh, yeah.
and you know, basically the warning was beware of the French punks. Have you ever had any issue with that, or?
I live in Montreal actually, but I think it must have, like it must have calmed down because it's a pretty like cooperative scene now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some like elitism and like hipsterism kind of, but there's
Sure.
like no violence for sure. That's for sure. Like
That stuff gets snuffed out pretty quick. Like
yeah,
if
like
there's people showing up starting shit, then
They'll get dealt with real quick.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely no like organized violence. Like there's not like armed punks that are out there to fuck with people.
No.
But I could totally see like 15 years
But
ago.
15
it was
years
Yeah,
ago,
probably
there were a
that.
lot of punks that had the maple leaf tattooed on them, and like very I don't want to say nationalistic, but
like
they're very
patriotic.
yeah, and it was, and so there was a line there, and they were fighting, and
Yeah.
it was
yeah.
it was
You
kind
don't
of
see any
nuts.
French punks with maple leaf tattoos.
No,
They
yeah,
have
that was the
fleur-de-lis
thing.
tattoos.
It was all it was basically the guys from Toronto all had their maple leaves,
Is that right?
and guys from Montreal obviously did not, and
Yeah.
that's where they were.
Yeah, the national issue was up in the air back then too, because that was around the time of the referendum. It was when the province of Quebec wanted to separate from Canada, so like Quebec nationalism was really big in the forefront. Like like with punks, even that like apolitical punks still, you know, promote separatism and of course Toronto versus Montreal. It's like the ultimate rivalry in Canada. So yeah, I could picture 15 years ago a bunch of drunk punks from both those cities out in the country that'd be fighting.
All right, let me pause for just a second.